Uh, and now I'd like to introduce Luke Doolan and Drew Bailey of the Miracle Fish. Congratulations, fellas.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Again, it was. How did you find this young man?
He's the only kid we looked at.
You saw one actor.
It was a long process for someone else.
Yeah. We found him on a friend of ours' casting tape for a different film. He said, take this home tonight, have a look at them all. I think I know who the right kid is. Come back tomorrow and we'll talk.
And who was this person who sent you this one kid?
Well, he gave me 5 on this tape.
Right.
And I came back the next morning and went, well, it's Carl, right?
Right.
He goes, no, it's this other kid. So I just sort of remember that. Took me about a year to get the financing and just got him in again.
Well, somebody was very smart. A terrific kid, tremendous repose in his face. And just as an audience member, what's good about all good filmmaking, I think, or storytelling, including all of the films we saw and for all of you folks here, is the audience is always smarter, it seems to me, than the movie makers are. And if you let them know the story they already know and you tell it as simply as possible, I mean, you could feel the audience leap when that young man got shot. And I know that it's designed, but I think the concentration in the audience for your story was something to be wished for by any storyteller. I enjoyed the use of sound. Was there anything specific that you had planned, or did you let the story dictate what choices you wanted to make in terms of how you wanted to suggest whatever omen was coming down the pike?
I guess like at script level, I kind of wanted the first third of it before the kid goes to sleep to be kind of building and getting louder and louder and louder and more layers of background noise and stuff, so that when you take it away, it has a sort of strange, rather subtle, unsettling feeling. And then, you know, as all good scares work, you've got to make it really quiet just before you make a big loud noise.
Well, I think that was most effective, and there's just something about the loudness of one's imagination in the right circumstances. And Drew, is this the first project that you guys have done together, or have you worked? You're actually part of a whole group, aren't you?
Yeah,
they're actually all up here if they want to stand up and embarrass themselves.
What's the name of the group again?
It's called Blue Tongue Films.
Blue Tongue Films.
And our executive producer, Nash Edgerton's up there, and his brother Joel. But we've all been making films together for about... I met Luke and Nash probably about 10 years ago. I work as an assistant director, have for a long time, and started out working as an AD on films with these guys. Luke is an editor, and he was always editing, and I don't even know how many short films we've done together, but a bunch. And we did Nash's first feature about 2 years ago, which comes out here April 9th, called The Square. Go see it. And while we're on that, Nash knew that Luke had this project, and he said to me, he knew I was starting to produce, and he said, "Why don't you produce for Luke?" So
basically, you came to all the different members of the group came together in terms of helping each other make their respective movies, I suspect.
That's kind of how we do it as a group,
right?
And wearing all different hats, different jobs, and seems to work so far.
Well, what about this project and this story was a surprise gift to you? Something that happened in the making of the movie, something that might have been an accident that you shot and re-looked at in the editing room and realized it was useful and made it turn for the better? If that question is comprehensible.
The big surprise was that it came together remarkably smoothly. There's a couple of scenes that were dropped and cut out, but it seemed to just... I mean, I'm still quite surprised at how much it seems to work. And you're welcome to disagree, but... I forgot what the question was.
No, it wasn't that great a question, but it was a really good answer. But I'd like to thank you both again. That's Luke and Drew, Luke Doolan and Drew Bailey for Miracle Fish.
Thank you.